Hi, hello, and welcome everybody to the second episode of the Forest Blades podcast. I'm your host, Chris Sturden, and I'm here with my co-host,
Russell Gates.
and we are here with our guest, Greg Bennett.
Hello everyone.
So let's jump right into it. What interests you most about the position of being mayor?
Well, the main thing I want to do is fix the taxes, and I've become aware of this. You know, we have the other paper,
Right.
and we did a story on taxes.
Yeah.
And I knew our taxes was high, but I didn't realize how high until I think we did like 8 or 9 weeks of this budget, how high it was. So we
Yeah.
started comparing it to other cities, and I realized, oh my gosh, we've got the highest in the state. And so I knew if I wasn't aware of it, I'm sure 99% of the other Swainsboro, nobody else knew. So I got involved with it, and I put together a group of about 6 people, of lawyers, doctors, accountants, all from Swainsboro.
Yeah.
And we worked for 6 months with the mayor trying to fix the budget. And over those 6 months, we cut about $2 million from the budget.
Wow.
And we presented to the city council, and they weren't too persuaded to do our cuts, because the easiest thing in the world is to give people things. The hardest thing is to try to take it back.
Right.
And so when people get used to paying the high taxes, they just pay the high taxes. And so when you're used to getting a budget of X, and then you want to cut it to minus X, well, people's going to get upset. What?
Right.
Okay, but we've got to cut it somewhere.
Yeah.
So I knew it wasn't going to get done, so I decided to run myself and try to fix it.
That's good. I kind of like the idea of just, having, if it's not getting done,
Right.
you put yourself out there and say, I'm going to get it done.
Right.
Because it needs to be done.
Right. And the hardest part is to actually make the time to do all this, right? Because everybody, we do our daily lives, we have our families, we have our activities.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to take the time to do it, but if somebody didn't take the time to do it, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And
Someone's
so
got to step up. Yeah.
I'm going to do it. So.
I like that. What do you like? How do you feel about your candidacy like this far? Like, what do you?
I didn't
feel
realize
good
how
about
much time it would take.
Yeah.
I knew past the election, I knew the main thing I've learned about business is you have to put the right people in place. If you put the right people in place, the wheels turn. But getting the wheels starting to turn is the hardest part. So you've got to get the right person, the city administrator, all the staff that works there. You got to get everybody on the same page. So if everybody's on the same page, everything runs.
Right.
But this running part, the door-to-door thing. I haven't done any door-to-door knocking. And my thing is, if I'm at home, everybody only gets a certain amount of time at home.
Yeah.
And that's your time for your kids, for your eating, maybe to watch the Braves or the Georgia football, whatever. Me personally, I don't want somebody knocking on my door saying, can I take 15 minutes of your time? It's just sort of like, well, first off, with COVID now, you don't want to burden somebody's house.
Right.
I don't feel right knocking on your door. I don't know you and you don't know me, so now I got to introduce myself. And it's just...
It becomes a big ordeal.
Right, and I don't think, times are changing.
Yeah.
This is new.
Yes.
Facebook, that's
Right.
new. If I get on Facebook and put a message, I just reached 5,000 people. Where it would take me a year to knock on 5,000 doors. Right? And I realized the 5,000 people on my friends list is not 5,000 voters.
Right.
But what happens is if you put something on Facebook, your idea or your thought, and you get 500 people like it, and they share it 200 times, well, now you just reached everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody just got your message without invading any space. They can read it when they want to.
Yeah.
And they can agree or not disagree, but it's out there to read. This is new. You got to try new things.
Yeah. It's very laid back and inviting, more than just like, hey, let me in your house. Let me talk to you for a minute.
Invade your house.
Yeah. Let me
put
give you
everything
COVID.
down, let me get my wife. She's cooking. Let me get her.
Yeah. Let me get some shorts on.
I just don't know. I'm not saying I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But it's just not me.
Yeah. No, I get that 100%.
So, seeing as like you're looking into being the mayor and you're running as a candidate, what qualities do you think as a mayor you should have to be, the mayor?
Right. Like I said, I think times are changing. Like, I think the mayor of 20 years ago is a whole different thing of mayor today.
Oh, absolutely.
Because none of our things online, like the ordinances. If I want to go, like I'm building all these houses, I can't click anywhere on any site on anywhere and find out like setback lines. or how far a house needs to be from this or
Yeah.
that, or how much frontage do I need on every house. Let's just start seeing the ordinances. They need to be online where everything's made easy.
Yeah.
You know, I can be able to sit at my computer and click a few times and to go aggravate the city building inspector and him flip through a big book and
Yeah.
wasting his time.
Yeah, you shouldn't
It
have.
should be online.
Yeah,
That's one of the first things that need to be done.
Right.
Is times are changing.
Yeah.
People need to be caught up, and you
Right.
know, you shouldn't have to, you know, go look for information that should be like easily available online until like someone's building and go to the dusty back room and flip through a giant book that's, you know, hasn't been touched in years.
I build in Florida too.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm building in Florida, I can sit in my bathroom if I want to and find out setback lines. You know,
right.
We need to update everything in Swainsboro. But if a new prospect of a business wants to come,
Yeah.
and they're sitting at home, what's a good town I can live in? What's a good town I can start building in? They start looking in there, they clicking on this, clicking on that.
Yeah.
You can't even click on us to find out what's going on. You know, you need to fix it.
Absolutely. So, you know, talking about all this, what qualities do you think you possess that would make you strong as a mayor?
The thing is, all of us, I think, we grew up in Swainsboro.
Right.
So I grew up in Swainsboro. I'm not saying my family were poor, but they sure were not rich. You know?
Right.
I mean, we lived week to week, to year.
Yeah.
My daddy was a farmer and a bricklayer. You know,
Yeah.
every summer, and I worked all year, but when it's wanting farming, we had to lay brick.
Yeah.
You know, my friends going off doing what they want to do, I was laying brick.
Yeah.
The first few times I would get an idea after I come back from college, I had ideas to do this and that. I got turned down every single time. I go to the bank, I got an idea. Sorry, Greg.
Yeah.
You know, what you guys collateral? I don't have any collateral. I got an idea though, but I don't really work. So learning all those times getting turned down, I knew what I needed to have which was capital. So every time I would make some money and do something, I wouldn't spend it.
Invest
And I would do
it.
something else and I wouldn't spend it.
Yeah.
We don't know how to save money in this town. You know,
Yeah.
the government don't. They just spend money like it's theirs. I mean, you know, like it's not y'all's. It's our money.
Yeah.
And so if you're wasting money, you're wasting our money.
Yeah.
I just don't want to waste money. That's my pet peeve about wasting money. I waste money on going out to eat. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You know?
And honestly, you know, doing things like that, it's good. You know,
Yeah.
just taking like, you know, I'm going to treat myself or my wife or my kids, my family,
Right.
you know, every once in a while, and I think that's good. You know, absolutely.
And take as many vacations as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's memories. You take all them things with you. Buying a necklace, buying a fancy pair of shoes.
It's going to be
they wear
torn
out
up
and they go away and you never remember them again.
Right.
But you take your family on a trip, everybody remembers that trip.
Yeah, that's priceless. I mean, you can't put money on that, really.
Yeah. So, when you're looking up and like into the future, what like upcoming like challenges do you think that you foresee, like, running for mayor?
The running part or getting it or being mayor?
I think, like, you know, the biggest challenge, like being mayor,
Right.
what is the biggest challenge that, you know, you
Getting
can
the whole
see?
city council on the same page.
Yeah.
They are scattered all over the place.
Yeah.
When you listen to them or when you go to the meetings, it's them against them. I don't know where this mentality comes. It's them
Yeah.
against them. It's like both sides think if the other side gets something, they lost something. No, it's not about that. It's about making everybody happy. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got to get the whole city council on the same path. You know, like,
Yeah.
and I think if we had a good city administrator and a good mayor
Yeah.
to lead the team behind them, you know,
Yeah.
everything will get done faster. But right now, they're the stalemates. I ain't saying nobody cares. Of course they care. They wouldn't be in there. The problem is getting everybody to care for the whole town instead of parts of the town.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What I said earlier in our previous podcast episode is that when I was talking to Shayna, and I was like, you know, everybody's on a different page,
Right.
and because of that, you can't finish the book.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't work collectively if you're all just doing like your own separate thing, and no, you're not getting anything done. You're doing more harm to yourself.
It seems like, and this may burn some bridges, but almost everything I've witnessed is everybody is on their separate agenda instead of the town's agenda.
Yeah, no, and even as me being as young as I am, and I have honestly never delved into politics, especially into Swainsboro until this year. That I can definitely see that, and I'm not even looking into it. And so you just imagine what everyone else sees.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we're embarrassed. We're embarrassing now with everything going on. You know, our names in the paper, and we're not in the paper for a good reason. They say there's no bad press, but there really is some bad press.
Yeah.
You don't want to get the headlines for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
So we got to clean that all up.
Yeah. It's you can't, being in any political position, you're gonna step on toes.
Right.
You're gonna offend somebody,
Right.
even if it's like irrational.
That's one of the reasons I'm worried. Like I had to really think a long time about this, because if I do these things, even if I please 75% of Swainsboro, that's a lot. It's gonna be hard to do.
Yeah.
That means 25% don't like me.
Yeah.
Which means they won't shop at any of my places I have business.
Yeah.
So if I start losing customers, like, did I really do anything good? Because if I lose customers like one or two of my places, well, now I got to let somebody go.
Yeah.
And I don't want to let people go
Yeah,
just
and
because
it's a trickle-down effect.
This is because I tried to fix the city. But this family's mad because something didn't happen right. It wasn't my fault. But now I've got to fire somebody because you're mad at me for trying to do the right thing for Swainsboro.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's the one thing I'm worried about is making somebody mad, because nobody's going to please everybody.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I've never opened a restaurant or would ever open a restaurant.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to please everybody.
No.
Yeah.
And then it would worry me to death if 20% of the people at my restaurant wasn't happy with my product. I'd give away the whole restaurant and then I'd close it 3 months.
Yeah,
Because
What I've seen, just by because my parents, Brad and Darby, they we came here in Swainsboro and we were just came out here on a whim, and we've seen Swainsboro's kind of, the leadership here is very, like you were saying, they do things on their own agenda, and they do things to pocket themselves a lot of the time. So it's kind of, nothing has really gotten done. Like there's a lot of things that could be happening in Swainsboro. Like they could have movie theater, or they can have some place for kids to hang out. But there's so much nothing in this town that the only thing that I've seen kids be able to do is usually illegal.
like everybody mentions movie theaters, bowling alleys, things for the kids to do.
Yeah.
The problem with that is every one of those things are built by investors.
Yeah.
Somebody who wants to make a profit.
Yeah.
If somebody built a movie theater in Swainsboro, it would close in 6 months. If it would last 6 months.
Yeah, it would.
The problem is our population.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about city limits expanding. I'm talking about our population, period.
Yeah.
So it's a process. You got to get people. Well, first you have to have housing, because I don't know if y'all know it. There's no houses for rent. There's no apartments for rent. We have zero.
It's
Partly of that is our taxes are high. The problem is when an investor sees Swainsboro or Dublin or Statesboro, where am I going to build my apartment? So they do the math, and they find out where can make potentially the most profit.
Mm-hmm.
And one of Swainsboro's downfall is our taxes are so high.
Yeah.
So I've got an investor who wants to build 80 apartments. He's been wanting to for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is the first $108,000 he makes is all go to city taxes and county and all the taxes. So you think about how many apartments he's got to rent to get $108,000. He ain't paid anything yet. He ain't paid his mortgage, insurance. He ain't paid anything. It fixed anybody's door. And when you figure on like Statesboro or Dublin, they're cheaper. So if the Statesboro's taxes are 68 and ours is 108, where's he going to build the apartments?
Yeah.
So we have to fix that. So we got to get housing fixed. I'm trying to do that now. We're building a subdivision. So if we get the houses fixed, the people will come. And everybody say, you think people's just going to pop out of the woodwork? No. What happens is we have a lot of people who work in Swainsboro who don't live in Swainsboro.
Yeah.
And like Windcore just came. A bunch of their employees don't live here.
Yeah.
Because once they opened, they couldn't find anywhere to live. And so they moved to other places. So that's going to take time.
Yeah.
Everybody can't get in a hurry, because once we build these houses, and the guy, if I can talk him into building these apartments, well, that opens up avenues for people to move here.
Yeah.
So now population growing.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got the little investors that's looking, I want to build a movie theater. Well, now it makes sense to build a movie theater.
Yeah.
Although everybody's talking about movie theaters and bowling alleys, that's out with the times. I'm going to be honest with you. Nobody goes to movies anymore. And I think we got to think forward.
No, absolutely.
I think kids would rather get into a room with 8 people and race virtually.
Yeah.
You get in a movie theater set like place.
Yeah.
You get the sound, you get the momentum, you get the music playing, and you're racing against each other. Well, all 8 people, and then they'd rather do that than go to a movie theater.
Yeah, no, I've gone to places where they have these rooms that are, you have separate rooms within it, and they're VR rooms, and you have these games and stuff, and you pay I don't know, however much for 30 minutes or to an hour, and you all of these people are playing VR stuff. And,
that's where everybody's going, because you can't do that at home.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
You can't do it at home.
No, you don't have the space
You
or
don't have the
anything.
space. You don't have technology. You don't have everything enclosed. And if you feel like you're actually racing a car
Yeah.
in this room, you're going to go back.
Yeah.
And now we're not messing with Swainsboro's population. We're messing with Statesboro's Dublin and Vidalia.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
they want to come here to
Yeah.
go to our little virtual
See, they don't
house.
have
because
any
they don't
of
have
that.
that.
And like,
So we got to think what they don't have, what we need.
yeah, and think ahead. No, I like that. Absolutely. So when you think of the term leadership, who inspires you the most?
I don't know. I don't have anybody.
No.
You got to inspire yourself first. That's what I look at.
I like that. Yeah, no, absolutely. So, the problems that you mentioned about taxes and, not being on the same page and stuff like that, do you have like a specific plan in mind that you're going to use to tackle these problems? I know you mentioned one about the taxes a little bit, but if you want to go in more depth about it, that'd be...
Yeah, the taxes, I'm not saying it's an easy fix,
No.
but I already got the outline.
Yeah.
With this group of people, we got the outline to fix
Yeah.
it. It's going to take time.
Yeah.
I've talked a million times about the city insurance, and I don't know if y'all are aware about the city insurance.
Yeah, I've
Y'all
heard
aware
about that, yeah.
So I ain't going to go into detail that because I've preached it to death. The other thing is the county. I want to give a lot of our services to the county. They could do it better. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, do you know about our recreation department?
Yeah, no, yeah.
We have all those things, but the city pays half and the county pays half.
Yeah.
Where our population is 8,000.
Yeah.
The county's population is 23.
Yeah.
Why are we paying half?
Right.
Yeah.
In simple math, could tell you we ain't got no business paying half.
No.
Now, I think the county people are persuaded to take these things on because their county commissioners don't fight as much as our city administrators.
Yeah.
They all fight. They have a better working relationship, and I think they could get along better and fix it because right now we're like a bomb blowing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got to fix our bomb. Let them take things away from us, that they could fix better because we've got so many things to fix, but we don't need the whole thing to fix.
Yeah.
And so if we got to look with the county and the Board of Education to try to see where our services overlap. Like, if we're running the recreation department and they're having a hand in it, and it affects the Board of Education too, we got way too much staff.
Yeah.
It should be at one central place. Y'all take care of it. We write you a check. We're done.
It should be more organized.
Yeah, we're done.
Absolutely.
What component of mayorship makes it the most challenging?
I would say it's sort of the city council question, but
Yeah.
my thing is going to be time. Like I have a lot of crap going on. I mean, a lot of crap. I'm doing a new car wash in Waynesboro.
Okay.
I'm doing and by the way, if you go over there,
Mhm.
you get a membership here.
Yeah.
You can use it either place.
Oh,
So
that's very convenient.
So it's totally like interchangeable. Anyway, I'm doing the new subdivision, and that is extremely time consuming. And it's not being out there; it's trying to figure everything out.
Yeah.
Like people don't realize you got to get everybody on the same page. Like the city's got to be on the same page. The Georgia Power, Pine and Telephone, the cable company, doing the road construction, the sewer, the water, the house builders. Everything's got to be rolling along at the same time, but nobody gets in anybody's way.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to figure that out. And then I'm worried about, like, where do I stop and where do I start? What I mean by that is we're trying to build 4 at a time.
Mhm.
Every 4 weeks, build 4, right? So start
Yeah.
4, so it's a good process.
Yeah. Very
But
consistent.
I can't price them yet because I'm trying to go as low as I can, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to try to help the town. So if I price them with lumber prices here, and then I get through they're cheaper, well, I don't want to rip these people off.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I'm waiting until I want to wait until I get about 80% finished before I say, okay, you can purchase property. We get to the point that all we like is paint and cabinets and
Yeah.
flooring, maybe.
Yeah, the little
I know
things.
that thing.
Yeah.
And that way you can pick your own flooring, you pick your own paint, pick your own cabinets.
Yeah.
And so that way I can move along. But where do I stop? Like, it's going to probably take, like, I'm going to say 4 months to have the first 4 completed.
Yeah.
By that time, I'm going to have 16 houses going.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's a big investment.
Yeah.
And so what if I can't sell but 3?
Mm-hmm.
And I done got 16 houses built
Right.
here, and I can't sell but 3. It's going to cost me a fortune to get out of debt. And
Yeah.
it's a risk. It's very risky, but my thing is timing. Like,
Yeah.
if a company comes here and they got 200 jobs
Mm-hmm.
and they need 50 homes,
Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't want to wait 3 years, for a house to be ready or apartments to be ready. They got to have a house today.
Yeah.
And so I hope by the time a company announces they're coming, I might be in the process of being, 6 to 8 weeks away to having 20 houses ready.
Yeah.
And so, and even if they don't pick those 20, maybe people in town will move to those, and their house will come.
Yeah, there will be at least 20 new homes
a rolling
for
domino
someone.
effect.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, I don't know how many houses we need, but we need way more than we got right now.
No,
and
absolutely.
so I'm trying to fill the gaps.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Is there a I guess that's part of it, but do you have a really big fear you have, if you get elected mayor?
My fear is people won't give me time. People don't realize, like my first budget thing was the insurance, right? Mm-hmm. The only way to fix that, because I don't want to hurt anybody's pay who works now, right? You can't say I'm taking away $17,000 a year from you, right? So what you got to do is make them whole, but then the very next person that's hired, they don't get that benefit of getting to choose insurance or money. So that will take people getting hired and people leaving, it's going to be a 5-year process at least, because I think the city has about 66 employees, but about 77 get the insurance. So if we have 66 employees, maybe every year we lose 7, and we hire 7. Well, then after 5 years, you've replaced 35 employees, and now you've halfway fixed the insurance, but you still ain't fixed it yet.
Yeah.
And so that's going to take time. So, and people don't realize is all the other aspects. Like, I want to put cameras up on this whole town. I don't know why we don't have cameras.
Right.
It's crazy. Like some people have an accident in somebody's parking lot, and they'll call me, Greg, is your cameras at Mojo's on? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how much cameras will cost? They will be so cheap.
Yeah.
You put them at every street corner.
Yeah.
And people don't realize, that is cheap. The only thing that costs a lot of money is how you store the
videos.
All the videos. Yeah. How long do you want to store them? Because I don't think we need to store them that long, because I don't think somebody's going to get robbed, and 7 weeks later they say, I got robbed 7 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 days. So it wouldn't be that expensive for the memory. It would.
No.
The cameras are cheap. Cheap. We could probably do the whole city for $50,000.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But it's just the memory we'd have to get. So that would help a lot too. That would deter people from robbing.
Yeah. No,
there's cameras everywhere, and they actually work. They ain't just cameras.
Yeah, they're not just
and you could post them live on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's going on in our town today.
Yeah, you can. There's the things we can do is their IP cameras, and you can literally just type in the IP address of the camera
and watch it.
24/7.
I mean, if you do that at the beach, you can do it when you're snow skiing or something. So you could look what the snow is there.
Yeah.
What about do that in Swainsboro?
Exactly. No, I completely agree. That would bring a lot of things like crime and stuff down.
Right.
But when it comes to being mayor, technically when it comes to being a political candidate, anybody in politics, you're gonna get criticism. From anyone. Do you how are you gonna handle it?
I handle criticism pathetically. My skin is way too thin. Like somebody put something on Facebook or something. The latest thing was, I'm only doing this to make money. I'm trying to do this to pad my own pockets.
Right.
I've already said to everybody that listens, I don't want to take a salary.
Yeah.
I don't think the city council should be making that much as they make. It's a community service. We're not Atlanta.
Right.
We're Swainsboro.
Right.
I mean, if you're working 8 hours a month, I don't know how much the city council works because I've never been one, so I can't say how much they work.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying from the outside looking in, it's not that time consuming. I'm sure you're thinking about it in your brain, but that's what we're supposed to be doing this for the community.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be making a profit.
Right.
So that's one thing.
No, I get it completely.
Yeah. So growing up, did you ever see yourself in a leadership position such as mayor?
Oh God, no. No, I was a BC student, but I did have one thing: I never missed a day of class because I played sports.
Yeah.
If you play sports, you gotta go to school.
Yeah, you miss, you get in trouble.
My daddy would, no matter what, when I got home, you gotta work.
Yeah.
So, if I missed a day and I really wasn't sick, I'd have to work. So I'd rather go to school than to work. Right. But I never took a leadership. I went on to college, never did anything. That's not me. I didn't realize, I ain't saying I'm a leader now, but I realized later, it's not so much running the businesses that I like, it's creating the businesses that I like. Like starting something from start to seeing it go through the process of building and getting it started. And it's the struggle of, it's like you win if you get it finished.
No, absolutely. Right? I see with me, doing the things I do with video and stuff. The reason why I figured out I liked it so much is because for me to take my time, my effort, money even, and my creative vision into a product, and to see it get finished and I'm happy with it, I created something that others can enjoy. And that's what I like. So I completely understand.
That's why I want to be mayor. There's so many things we could do here.
Yeah.
It's a huge challenge. I mean, a huge challenge.
Yeah.
So I really want to do it. I really want to help the town.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's.
I just know it would be this hard.
Yeah.
I really didn't. The running part. I really didn't realize what I was getting myself into. I wouldn't change it for anything, but it's just a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Growing up in Swainsboro, what is like one of your favorite memories? Either childhood or whatever. Just when you look back, is there like a core memory or two that you can just see?
Y'all are way too young. I mean, extremely young. But when we were young, there was only one thing to do here.
Yeah.
You started on one end of town, and
Yeah.
you drove to the other end, and you made a U-turn, and you come back.
Yeah, that's what some people still do.
Obviously, we went to the old Walmart.
Yeah.
We went to McDonald's when you made circles, and you'd meet your friends, and you would talk in some parking lot. But my best thing is going to school. I really loved school when I went.
Really?
I really loved it. I mean, that's all your memories. You growing up is playing sports and the friends you have there.
Yeah, absolutely. When you hear the word Swainsboro, when you think of town, what's first thing comes to mind?
We're not growing at all. I believe somebody could have pulled through Swainsboro 10 years ago and pulled through today, and they could close their eyes and say, so-and-so's right there, so-and-so's right there.
Yeah.
It doesn't change.
No.
And I'm not saying it's who's ever been running the town. I'm not saying it's their fault. What I'm saying is people get complacent and they like the way things are, and they don't want new things sometimes.
Yeah.
And because they don't want it to take 15 minutes to drive 10 miles, they want it to take 10 minutes to drive 10 miles. And they don't want traffic. They don't want new things.
No.
But then that's not the way I think. I ain't said I want Swainsboro to be Pooler,
No.
But could we be Dublin? That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be, honestly. As much as a lot of people in this town, kind of act or want it to be a retirement home.
Right.
It wouldn't hurt to grow just even a little more,
Right.
and that's not even just to solve the money issues or taxes or anything.
If you're not growing, you're stagnant.
Yeah.
And if you're stagnant, that is not good.
No.
And the thing is that we can just start just a little bit, just a little bit improvement, just a little bit of growing.
Just steady.
Like I've opened like maybe 5 or 6 things in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But what if we'd had 5 people like that?
Yeah.
Look where we'd be right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because when you're stagnant, you just instead of matching up with things like taxes or inflation or insurance, instead of matching up, you just let it all pile up, and so it just becomes more and more expensive, and then you start spending money on the same things, and you just have this pool of money in just this hole.
What people don't realize too, if we start growing just a little bit, and growing leads to growing. What I mean by that is if people in town, that we have to go. We got some good restaurants. Don't get me wrong. We do.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know what about this town. Nobody wants to open on Mondays and Tuesdays. I have no idea. Like people, we don't eat. Everybody eats.
Yeah.
You can't. It's very few restaurants open on Monday for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the more choices you got, the more choices you got. And people from other towns will start coming here instead of us going to their town. So when people start spending money here on buying clothes or going to restaurants or going to that virtual place we want to do, things like that, that's tax money because they do sales tax. Well, now we got more money to do things with. Like we're going to have to get the budget down to nothing. I mean, just to nothing in order to have things where we could spend money on things. Because right now, if we had the best idea in the world, it wouldn't matter. We don't have any money.
Yeah.
We're broke.
Yeah, we don't have the money, and some people even now it's like there's no one has the drive to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So no, 100%. Yeah, I agree with that.
So like going back to like growing up, what was like a memory of like a holiday, and what would be your favorite holiday if you could choose one?
Probably Thanksgiving. That's when everybody gets together, to get around a table, your family you hadn't seen in a long time, we all get together and have a good time. I love Thanksgiving.
Honestly.
Eat. Oh my God.
Go to grandma's house, whatever.
Man, I love sweet potato souffle. But it's just everybody getting around her. I like the 4th of July too. That's when Bennett's have a family reunion. I like that one too.
That's good. Family is really the big thing I see. That's good.
Yeah, I can't leave for holidays. Most people don't realize.
Oh no.
See, the reason is, like Mojo's is one of the first few things I started.
Yeah.
Where our busiest times is holidays.
Yeah.
So I can't never take off for holidays.
Yeah.
Just, I have a holiday after the holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, with me, whenever, because I mentioned this earlier, growing up in Swainsboro, in the last few years, I was like, I want to get out of Swainsboro. There's nothing for me here. And that's still my vision because, what I want to do and pursue my career in film and stuff, I'm not going to be able to do that here. But that's just not what, like I said earlier, Swainsboro is not Vegas. It's not New York City. It won't be. But it can definitely be better than what it is now.
Oh, definitely.
And so...
well, we have to get more people like you to come here and stay. That's the problem we have.
Yeah.
The problem we have is when say if we graduate 300 people this year, the top 100, they're going off to college and whatever, and they're never coming back.
Right.
You may have a sprinkle here and there of people that want to come back for different reasons. We have to have a reason for them to come back after they graduate. And if we start growing and they see things for the kids to do, they'll want to come back to have the same experience they had.
And that kind of goes back to the thing you were talking about with housing issues. Like, if they come back and the only place they can stay is their parents' house, then there's no reason for them to come back.
Yeah.
You got to have options.
Yeah.
But there is a bunch of houses getting built right now in the county. Right? A bunch of them, it's people buying up 3 or 4 acres, 5 acres or whatever, and building a house. That helps the city, but not really, because they're in the county and they're not in the city, so they won't. Some of them feel like they don't. It's hard to contribute if you live in the county, but like for instance, there's a bunch of people that's built on Modoc Road. They don't have any say about what goes on in the city, They can just vote county things, not city things.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you become mayor and whatnot, I'm sure you already now, with you owning businesses and stuff and being like a figurehead in the community, I'm sure you're a role model to people in the city. But who did you have a role model growing up? Whether it was someone or like a famous football player or just someone you kind of based who you are today off of.
Not really.
No.
I swear I didn't. I don't. When I was young, we mostly just played sports and went to school and worried about girls or whatever. That's pretty much all we was worried about.
Yeah. Did you look up to a coach or anything or something like that?
I had some great coaches growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, like Coach McClendon, I had him my whole life. And right from when I was young right on to older. He was a great guy, but, they got their life and they do their things. And you want to be like them with parts of them.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You see things, people have a bad habit, even myself. You see the good, but you also see the bad.
Yeah.
And it's hard to have a role model if you see bad things too. Not that he did anything wrong, but for God's sake.
It's
just
no one can be perfect.
I just want to be my own person.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of problems with people. There's a difference in having like a role model. Well, there should be a difference, but a lot of people don't see it that way. But there's a difference in having a role model and having an idol.
Right.
And if you idolize like a certain behavior or a certain person, just like they're just them, you don't really bring anything else to the table, and that kind of cuts off creativity because you're trying to be that person as much as you can.
That's the thing about people picking idols as football players or basketball players. Why?
Yeah.
Just because you can dribble the ball faster or better than I can, I'm not saying I shouldn't listen to things you have to say and look up to you, but there's other people who does other things too, but you don't see them. Their talents are hidden,
Absolutely.
or yours is out there in the open for everybody to see. So I'm not saying your talent or their talent's any better, but you better look at everybody.
Yeah,
no, absolutely.
It's that no matter how big and bad you are, there's always somebody that's stronger.
Right.
Yeah. And, do you think there was a definite moment in your childhood that kind of shaped who you are today? Just how you act or something, just like a defining moment maybe?
It's not moments. It's sort of like my dad. He's extremely worker. Oh, my God. He works more than anybody I know.
Right.
And so at the time, I didn't like that. Nobody works on Saturday when you're 14, 15, 16 years old. My friends would be going to the beach, doing things, riding this road back and forth. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I was in a tractor running back and forth. And he would promise me, it's Sunday, you don't have to work till 2 and we'll take off. So he'd be in a tractor and I'd be in a tractor and we'd just pass it. I would just stare at him. It's 2. What are you doing? And then the next pass, it's 2:30. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So we would spend most of my weekends working.
Mm-hmm.
So he's really my dad because I ain't said I blame him or I like him for it, but he's made me who I am about working.
That's good. Well, honestly, I appreciate you coming out here. This was wonderful.